Well, we're still here. About 9 months into this morning vigil, we began with Psalms every morning, 150 Psalms, and then it was time for the counting of the Omers, so we counted the 49 days. We celebrated Shavuot together, we had Yizkor, and then we kept going because it seemed like it was the right thing to do to offer now a vigil for peace. So we'll keep going each morning with some prayers for peace. We don't have answers. We're not going to be political here because it's, and I won't use that word. It's too complicated. But what I will say is that I long for a place where, at least in this community, it's not just a rally for this or a rally for that, but it's a vigil for human dignity and for life, a vigil for the good people on the ground, Israelis, Palestinians, Israeli Arabs, Christians, Jews, Muslims, for everybody who is living in Israel and Palestine, those who especially are working for peace, to find ways to support them because they want to live together in peace. And if we take sides here, I don't think it helps them there.
We're waiting for peace to break out.
Yes.
The vigil for peace to break out.
Let peace break out. Let good people say enough, and not let the bullies win. The bullies are winning. The bullies are winning. The people that are benefiting from conflict. So what does this Mishna say? It has something to say about this today. Chapter 2. Mishnah 20, Rabbi Tarfon has something to say about this. So it is our tradition, it's become our custom to offer a Mishaberach, a healing prayer. Let us offer a Mishaberach, calling on the angels, a healing prayer for all the people that we hold in our hearts, that we know are suffering here, there. What is prayer?
Refuat hanefesh,
A longing.
refuat haguf, refuat hanefesh, refuat haguf, for the healing of the spirit, the healing of the body, the healing of the spirit, and the healing of the body. For those we know, for those we don't know. On my right, the angel Michael. On my left, the angel Gabriel.
Angels.
In front of me, the angel Uriel, 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 Uriel. Behind me, the angel Raphael. Above my head, above my head, above my head, above my head, above my head.
The Shekhinah.
Shekhinah Tail.
The inward dwelling of God, of goodness.
Baruch atah Adonai Rofei HaCholim. Blessed are you, great healer. Amen.
Also offer a prayer that our learning transforms us, that our learning opens up something new for us.
Little curly tail.
Changes us, right?
V'arevna Adonai Eloheinu et divrei Toratcha b'finu. Uvafi Amcha Beit Yisrael. Make the words of your teaching pleasant on our lips, the lips of all of those that come into our screens. So we can spend the time in learning. Spend the time in learning and become an influence. Who influences? A positive influence in our world. We can walk around in our world and feel like we've contributed something. We receive and we give, we receive and we give. We take our place in the chain. Shalshelet, Kabbalah. We receive and we give, we receive and we give. All of us learning this way. And for none of these reasons, for its own sake, for the purity of it. Blessed are you who teaches to your people in this fashion.
Amen. Amen. So, in the name of peace, in the name of the people who are trying to live together, work together for peace, women wage peace, combatants for peace, breaking the silence,
Peace, sister.
New Israel Fund, all these different groups, Givat Chaviva, all these different groups that really are Q schools. My favorite one, Q schools with Dahlia. Lots of people on the ground longing for peace. So look at what this Mishna says. In the name of Rebbe Tarfon. Have we had him before?
No, and why he's here is a little bit of a mystery because he's not one of Yochanan ben Zakkai's disciples here. So, but he's here. He's here amongst them.
Here he is.
So
right. And what does he say? So what he says, okay, so it's not 3 things, it's 5 things. The first one is, it's translated in my thing, the day is short, but Hayom is this day. Hayom, right?
Yeah.
Typically is this day is Katsar. This day is short. Hayom in Torah is this day. Pay attention. This day. It's like every day is this day. Don't let this day, don't put it off for tomorrow because it's this day that's short. What does that mean it's short? It don't let it go by without paying attention to the task, because the task, the work, it's not really task, it's the melacha, the work, not avodah, worship, but the melacha, the actual work with your hands. The work is great, and the day is short. So come on, get with it. But, human nature, the workers are a little lazy. And I don't think this means lazy. I think it means that we get distracted, right? We get distracted. We workers.
it's interesting about him too,
Tarfon?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah. So right.
So we get distracted. I don't think it means real lazy. I think we have all kinds of other things that get our attention.
They're doing other stuff.
Right? But we have to be clear about what is the work. That's what this one is about. And remember, the reason we're doing this is because the reward is great. And it doesn't mean personal reward. It doesn't even mean communal reward. The reward is great means peace, right?
Yeah, and the master of the house is pressing.
Yeah,
Get on with it.
What are we here for?
Get on with it.
What are we here for? Is it for self-interest to keep fighting amongst each other? Is it to keep bullying each other? What is it for? It's a distraction. All this stuff is a distraction.
He's pushing.
Let us not be pulled into it. It's a distraction. Because the master of the house says, come on, guys. Don't lose your focus. Right? Don't lose your focus. God is aware of our nature, right? And also our potential. We have to be aware of our potential. Yes, our limitations, for sure. But what are we here for other than to overcome our limitations and live out our potential? To give a reason for human existence, right?
Yeah. He's of the next generation, Tarfon.
And
He lived
in the
after
end,
Yochanan ben Zakkai.
the day is short can also mean you never know.
He was
how
also
long or
around
short
for
your
the
days are gonna
destruction.
be, right? Because he lived in such turbulent times as we do.
Yeah.
You never know how long your life is going to be.
He was around for the destruction. He was a priest. He was around for the destruction of the temple.
Mm-hmm. So he knew.
But he's not mentioned with the revolt of Bar Kokhba. So somewhere in there, between 66 and 132 or 135.
He says, live a full and proper life, no matter how short.
Also, it's interesting he's not named by Ben. We don't know who his father was here.
Right. It's just Rabbi Tarfon.
Yeah,
He doesn't know he's not a student of
that's
anybody.
unusual, too.
He's not the son of somebody. Who is he? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he lived through the destruction,
Right.
He was a witness to how fragile life can be, because the day is short. Our lives are short. We never know when they're going to be done. So live each day a full and proper life the best you can. I think it's a good one. It's really a good one.
Yeah.
A really good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is a good one for a peace vigil, I think.
You betcha, sister.
Yeah. So we offer it up in the name of all the people that you've mentioned here in the chat for healing. We offer it up in the name of those of us who are struggling with our own kind of challenges to be the best we can be.
Yeah.
So you have a prayer for peace here?
Oh, I do.
I know, you always do. You always do. Let's hear it.
I do.
So a word while Jimmy's looking for this notion, the reward is great, right? What arena do you work in where your work is rewarding? I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do this work, right? A lot of different lanes to choose. So what's the lane that feels most rewarding for you? It could be frustrating. It could be difficult. But what makes life worth living for you? Because those are the kinds of rewards we're looking for. You ready?
Here again, this is called the Grammar of Peace.
Here we go.
The Grammar of Peace. Later we were reading the accounts by news and expert thinkers, witnesses. We ascended into silence. Conventicle of souls, we source thought and never relinquish imagination. We elected to tell the good stories, some rescued from the deep past. The past invoked for service. No weaponry in a war of words. Ideas, sentiments dreaming up. We uncovered moments and chapters and individuals speaking a language of possibility. To open a window onto hope, a word with wings and feet. When certainty, that word with mud and muscle, dominatrix of the left and right, fails. No certainty. We ascended into the silence of vigil. Active waiting. Peace and opening, a beginning, a toward, a vision and imaging. A preposition indicating to, toward. I sang the preposition without citation. Back I reached and returned with story.
Yeah. There are people who say that what will bring peace is a good story. The right story. The right story. A lot of Hasidic stories about that, you know, telling the right story.
Early in the morning. Early in the morning, awaken to psst, zings, pops, cracks. The sounds of lead all around. It's the news. Street noise, war. Whichever way you swing. In all your afflictions, God suffers. If one tear were to fall from God's eyes, we would all die. Excuse me if I kick the sky.
Nice. So we will continue to pray for peace, huh?
Amen.
We will continue to stand in the breach.
In the breach.
And, you know, not take sides. But take the side of human dignity. Take the side of love. Just stand in the breach and sing. Sing until the lands sing to each other. Tells the right story.
Amen.
Amen. So tomorrow, it's worth reading chapter 2, Mishna 21. It's a famous one. Also from Rabbi Tarfon. You know?
Who is that dude?
Well, he's got a lot of good wisdom for us right at this moment. You know, don't let the fact that the work is so difficult keep you from even trying.
Yeah, man.
So, on that, we thank you for joining us. Want to say anything else?
Nope.
No? Very good.
I'm good.
Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah. Well, there are parents. There are parents who, there's a wonderful organization, this organization in Israel and Palestine, where families who have lost children to violence, to war, to terrorism, come together and tell their stories together, and say enough, So we support those organizations, the end ones, the ones who do stand in the breach with us.
Yeah.
And say, until the lands sing to each other, we will stand here ankle deep. So, that was Muriel Rukeyser, the poet. So, friends, thank you for being with us. Have a day of light, a day of lift, finding something that's meaningful, something that carries us, Ashrei, forward. We'll be back tomorrow.